Hello,
Good-
Dr. Paul.
Hey,
How
good
are
morning,
you
everybody.
today? Let's see. I'm trying to read your title. Can you tell me the title of your book?
Yes, from gutter to greatness.
I can't wait to hear your story. I am going to let you talk and I'll let you know when it's time to wrap up in about 12 minutes.
And before you go, Paul, I'd just like to quickly say to the audience, Dr. Paul Miller is doing such amazing stuff. We were just so excited to publish his book. He's really helping kids that need direction, mentorship, and he goes to the biggest events. He's a keynote speaker at the biggest decision makers in the school systems and all the counselors. So thank you, Paul, for all you do for kids.
Oh, thank you for having me. So, today we're talking about gutters to smile, which will equal greatness. And the more you smile, smile is the way you think is the way you act. The way you act is what you attract, and you bring greatness to you. But we're not just talking about the smile on the outside. We got to talk about the smile on the inside. And often our gutters are are not where we're at. It's where we're from in many people's mindsets. But we're going to try to reframe that, and we're going to try to reframe it so it's not where you're from. It's more of where you're at. And so think about it. Everyone who has a gutter on their house, if that gutter is clogged, often that clog will do damage to your home. It will do damage to your roof. It will do damage to your exterior of house, and it will even get inside at times. So we have to remove those clogs so the water will run freely. And as the water runs freely, the smiles will run freely as well. So often my smile wasn't real. See, this was me in high school, and I was on the outside. It looked fine. Football star, well, relatively. I was good. I wasn't great. Had good grades, community presence. I was inside, but there was a loneliness. There was a fear of not having enough, feeling unseen. And the smile, it wasn't because I was happy. It was because I was surviving. And so the survival mode often was all of the trauma and the pain and the hurt that I went through. And I had to start to unpack that and figure out, where did that come from? Where did that start at? The weight of the wound, as a child, so often I felt invisible, I felt uncared about, I felt unloved. Even at times as I got older, I started to feel feared. So as a young man, I would grew up in a household where my mother was depressed, and because of her depression, I can remember at 5 and 6 years old, I used to have to walk myself to school back and forth and get myself ready, and a lot of just lonely things. And with the depression, she also would lock herself in a room, and she would lock herself in a room often because she was had her trauma, and she was wanting to be loved, and she often felt unloved and uncared about as well. And so she was in a relationship, and the relationship that she was in was with my stepfather. My stepfather, he was not the type of man that you would want to look up to. As we were in this circumstance of, he would either, when she was around, she would lock herself in the room. When he wasn't around, she would lock herself in the room because she was depressed. And when he wasn't there, he was out doing things that weren't, the best, or wouldn't call him a gentleman and a scholar based off of some of his behaviors. So because of my mother's depression, we lost our house. We ended up moving to the projects. And when we moved to the projects, we moved next to the drug house. And the drug house was important to this story because my stepfather was addicted to crack cocaine as well. And so with the domestic violence and with the crack cocaine and with all of the drugs, it often created these wounds that in the inside that I was hurting, but I had to act as if I was smiling. And it wasn't until I I got places and I had resources and I had some people that supported me. I had a coach that supported me one time that, he loved me the way I wanted to be loved. He made me feel seen and heard, even though I was at a point in time when I thought I was going to quit playing football, and I thought that just wasn't going to be my path, and it ended up not being my path. It wasn't what God wanted for me. But what ended up happening was this coach was able to knock some sense into me and show me that it wasn't about my ability, it was about my effort. And I had to start putting in a different effort. The effort that I needed to put in to go over, around, under, and through helped me to realize what my superpower was, and only the start of it, which my superpower, and that God has given me the gift of perseverance. And this coach helped me realize it. But I still had healing to do because there was the hood me versus the good me. And these are the two voices that we often hear and that we often hear when we're engaged in activities that we shouldn't be engaged in. And that voice would guide you and tell you to do things that you shouldn't do. That, but that good me always was able to speak. That God voice inside of me was always able to speak, where I had to be able to listen and use that to become the healed me. But that was a process. And see, the hood me often sought the validation in the streets and relationships and distractions, and that relationships was a huge issue because of the relationships that I developed with my mother and that healing that I needed to do that I didn't have the chance to do because I didn't think I could. And often as a Black male, it didn't feel safe to be able to show up in spaces and talk about my emotions and my feelings. And so I would put it away in boxes. And as I put it away in boxes, I wasn't smiling, at least not on the inside. On the outside, I might have made it look good, but I wasn't smiling. And so as I started to go through and had life altering experiences like a divorce, and a lot of it was related to some of my distractions and behaviors because of I wasn't healed, I wasn't showing up. And so after that divorce, I had to move into the healed me and I had to start doing things that helped me get there. And that's what we're going to talk about some is because there's a process that we've developed from the gutter to greatness. And it's about really moving from your gutter to greatness. And this is what I had to do to walk through to truly be able to smile. And so I had to be able to grieve my past. And so grieving my past was me being able to sit in my pain, not running from it. Running from it is not going to save you. So being able to sit in it and cleaning out that gutter, getting that debris out so the water would run the water would run fluidly, and I would be able to by understanding the wound. So once you learn the wound, where did this behavior start? Asking yourself that, making that connection, and making sure that you deeply understand. And for me, I knew that that wound started early on in my childhood that I went through, and from all the things that I saw and that I had to go through. Uh, and then I had to tell the truth about it. I had to tell the truth about what really happened and how I was pretending to be okay, then turning that pain into purpose. So that pain became my purpose. It becomes, instead of my excuse, it becomes my reason, using it to fuel, not my prison. So don't sit in your trauma. Don't sit in it. You got to start working with it and then equip yourself. So, yeah, I've had to do therapy, reading, mentorship, learning my emotional language, understanding what I need and what I don't need. And then through that, equipping myself, I have to emerge and rise as a leader and rise as a healed person so I can be able to be better for not just myself, for my kids, my friends, my family, my neighborhood. So each letter is not just a step, it's a weight that you have to lift to be able to smile again. So smiling is so important to this. Um, but, but what I realized through this process that it couldn't just be about me. As I was able to smile more, I had to do things to help others to smile, and doing things to help others to smile was was really crucial and important because I had this young man who's in this picture here. His name is Usiah Brigman, and Usiah Brigman was a good student. He was a student who was able to maintain AP courses, and but he was almost like a silent assassin. He was in school, really quiet. No one really bothered him, but you knew he was coming from trauma. His mother was addicted to drugs, and there was always rumors of him being in the streets and selling drugs, but it never interfered with school. And we were hoping he was going to be able to get out. This young man had college scholarships, was had his ability to be able to change his life, tell a whole different story. And he was getting ready to go off to college. And Usai decided not to. Usai decided not to go. And he stayed to make his career full-time street life. And as he made that his career, he graduated in 2018. And 3 years later, at around 7:30 in the morning, I get a wake up phone call that said Usiah was shot 17 times. And so I definitely had to ask myself, why him? But that was the day I realized that if I don't teach and I don't work with our boys to clean their gutter, the streets will teach them and they'll drown in it. And so part of my commitment here is helping others to realize their smiles so they can move from their gutter to greatness, because I can't have another Usiah Brigman on my conscience, because I always want to do more. And is a young man who had a beautiful smile and just deserved to smile every time and any time that he was alive. And we all do. But joy is a decision. See, as a youth, as a baby, you're naturally happy. And a smiling, real smiling. But real smiling also is radical when you come from pain. And so, but healing helps you to rewire your brain. And so it's got to be purposeful. The same way that you can retrain a muscle, or if you have a sports injury, you can retrain your brain. You can retrain your brain because the way you think is the way you act. The way you act is what you attract. And you have the ability, because the brain is the largest muscle in your body. So it's forming new habits, new rituals, and routine that go into that gutter process. Uh, so it's not the absence struggle. We're all going to have it, but it's the decision to smile in the face of it. And so I have a real smile challenge here for everybody. And the real smile challenge here is, what's your fake smile hiding? What would it take for you to smile and for your smile to be the truth? So pick one thing from your gutter this week, confront it, one wound, look at it, grieve it, release it. And you don't have to have it all figured out. It's okay. You just have to be willing to heal, and healing starts with you. Keep smiling, everybody. I'm Dr. Paul Miller, and I just would love for you guys to take the journey and the ride with me, with From the Gutter to Greatness, moving from your gutter to greatness. I have a total of 5 books in total. All my socials are here. You can find me at From Gutter to Greatness and at drpmiller.com. If there's any time left, I have questions, and so take any questions.
I think the big question I have for you is you're doing some really big events and you're going to Africa. You travel the world. Would you share where people can maybe attend an event and see you?
Sure, sure. So if you go to the Educated Black Man, educatedblackman.com, you'll be able to check me out and see some of the tour dates. I know I have a couple that aren't even on there, but Philly is coming up. Also, in Charlotte, the NAACP got Dallas in July. I also in September we'll have Washington D.C. at the Black Caucus, at the Congressional Black Caucus,
You better
and
see
then
me.
in
You better see me when you're in DC.
absolutely, I can't wait. And then in November, I'll be in South Africa, so Johannesburg, Botswana, and Zimbabwe, and doing a TED Talk on From the Gutter to Greatness, and to make sure that we're spreading smiles and trying to help change people's mindset so they can move from their gutter to greatness.
You're doing great things. You should be so proud. I'm certainly proud of you. And I just want to say thank you for the invitations to be part of the tour. The event in Atlanta, I just was blown away. And when you know people like Paul, you get dialed into conversations that are really at the highest level. And so thank you for trusting us to help carry your message. It's a beautiful message.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.